Katina from Agia Galini. In this video, we're going to tell you why we left America to move to Greece. So the main reason we chose Greece as the country to move to is because of Katina's roots and how much we wanted to connect with the place her family was from.
As a Greek American, I grew up always wanting to come and visit the homeland, but every time I would come here, I never wanted to leave. I had this sense of feeling that I wasn't supposed to leave Greece. And every time I came to Greece, I just felt whole. I felt like the part that was missing was just there again. And so wanting to be able to come here and just have that whole feeling all the time was definitely a big drive for me.
And for me, every time I came here, we'd go somewhere different, and I fell in love with this country. I fell in love with the people, the food, the culture, and honestly, it's so easy because everything's so beautiful. Like, we're doing these vlogs from different towns around Crete and showing some of the diversity of landscape and just things and how beautiful everywhere is. It's just incredible here.
My family had to leave Greece because of hardships, whether it was a financial hardship, a war, or just the quality of life was not what they needed here in Greece at the time. But a lot of things have changed since then, and I feel very blessed to be able to come back, something that my family always wanted during their lifetime.
Yeah, and some of those hardships still exist, especially for Greeks who have to work so hard to make so little here. But that is actually, oddly enough, the reason that we are here is we feel like we have a better quality of life here. So in America, I really feel like our stress levels were through the roof. The work-life balance, could never find a good one. Haven't really done myself too many favors by creating this YouTube channel. However, yeah, just our free time here, we do have more time to explore and do things that I didn't have. Like, we have friends that we never got to see, I feel like, because our balance, our schedules, they just never lined up. So it just makes it easier. We are still working to find a better balance, but it is improved from what it was in America. Trying to focus more on some of the things in our personal growth that we weren't able to do because we didn't have the time in America.
Yeah, I feel like something in America is people are really living to work, where in Greece, I find a lot more people are just working to live.
About a month after we got here, I think I turned to Katina and I was like, you know, I feel like I'm living for the first time in a long time. And I think a lot of people have had a hard time, especially like post-pandemic, trying to strike a new balance. We kind of got to have a taste of like, maybe work isn't everything. Maybe we need to reevaluate some of what's happening here. The other thing about that was like, it's always that sort of dream that's in the back of your mind that you're working towards. And then we started to realize that there's not going to be a better time than now. Like, if we're going to do it, we just need to do it.
Yeah, and one of the things I find to be very different from America to Greece is I felt like I was always needing to schedule my time with my friends, that I was always having to make sure that our calendars were aligning. It always had to be written down or it just wasn't going to happen. Where here in Greece, I try to schedule time with friends and people look at me like I'm crazy, because why would you do that? It happens naturally. You just end up being with your friends, hanging out with your friends. And I think that that's a really refreshing lifestyle, that you're not scheduling friend time. It just naturally works out.
One thing that I find that's different here than in America as far as the quality of life of the people, and look, it is very hard on a lot of people here, but I think in America, a big part of the problem is debt, medical debt, you know, and we don't own the things. So like, you're able to build a better life, you're able to make more money, you're able to do a lot of things, but you're always just one thing happening in your life away from being in debt and losing everything you have in some instances. You can work so hard forever and get a medical diagnosis, and then all of a sudden, you lose what you have. And I don't think it's a healthy way to live, and it's so hard because we do put so much into trying to get ahead, and we have that fear, I think, in the back of our minds of losing that. Well, I think it's harder for people here to work and change their lives and better their situation financially. Most people here have inherited property and homes, so they're not really in danger of losing everything they have, and the medical system there are flaws. Don't have that same fear of going in debt for the rest of your life over something that happens to you.
I know, at least for me, I'm one of those people that is on monthly medications, and the cost of that, doctor's appointments and everything back in the States, it was out of control. I felt like so much money was going towards medical needs, where here in Greece, that cost is broken down to almost a tenth of what I was spending in the United States.
And that's even without using your insurance, which is crazy.
That is what is absolutely insane to me. And I don't need to constantly be going to follow-up appointments just to get a rewrite of a prescription. Here, I walk to the pharmacy and I'm just able to ask for my medication that I've been taking for years and years, and I'm able to get it. And it feels really nice to know that I don't need to stress about what I need to do to get a medication, especially something that I've been on almost my whole life.
Well, and speaking of medications, another reason we moved here was health. That ties back into the stress we were talking about earlier, but also the food that you eat here is so much better. Everything's locally grown. There's not a lot of preservatives in everything you eat. On this island of Crete, they grow everything. They make their own olive oil, their own wine. We go to the farmer's market and it's absurd. It's amazing to see all of the fresh produce that you can buy, and it's also a lot less expensive to buy directly from the source. I really feel like all of these things go into making us healthier and also trying to live a more active lifestyle.
You even taste the difference in the meat. I had a friend that is from Greece, and she says that she doesn't eat meat really outside of Greece because the meat just tastes sad other places, where the meat here tastes happy. And I thought I understood that coming to Greece each summer and knowing that the flavors just were so much better. But after living here for a year, going somewhere else and eating the meat, I was like, no, she's right. It does taste a little sadder, and the meat here does taste happier. But let's be real. The sheep and the goats and the animals, they are on the mountainside with the sea as their view. I can understand why the meat itself is happier. It's not being condensed into these large farms that most of the meat in America comes from.
There's a lot more farmers here per capita. You don't have that in a lot of very affluent countries. We were talking to Andreas from Lefkada Micro Farm. If you haven't seen that video, it's here. It's really incredible what he's doing. And we also went to a restaurant called Dunias here in Crete that he told us about originally, and then everybody in Greece, on how amazing this guy was and living off the land. It's a restaurant, it's a farm, he cooks himself. But basically, like what Andreas was saying is that most people that visit him are people from very affluent countries who missed this more simple way of life, and they're longing for it again. So I think naturally we long for that, and it's just hard to find a place for it in America.
So something that I find to be interesting is that Hippocrates himself said that food is medicine, and you are what you put into your body. And the food here really does feel that way. I am feeling a lot healthier than I had been back in the States. And something that really surprised me was when I went back for 1 week, I felt like my body was rejecting the food that I was eating in the United States.
Yeah, and actually, as we were traveling around the islands this summer to do episodes of Becoming Greek, we went to Kos, which is the birthplace of Hippocrates, who is the father of modern medicine. So it was really cool to see how eating the good foods just makes us feel better. And I think we need less medicine as a result of all of that.
Something that Andreas at Lefkada Micro Farms was telling us was about a lot of the healing herbs and plants that you really especially find here in Greece, and how things even as simple as oregano have such high polyphenol content that when you eat them enough and you have them in your daily diet, you don't need some of the medicines that you might be prescribed to in other places. We even learned that olive oil is something that can help replace some of the medications you take.
We got this really cool olive oil tasting from our friend Mihalis when we went to Hasaka. We went to olive oil farms and harvested olives with Evkrito, and we learned a lot. But one thing that Mihalis told us was that a spoonful of high phenolic olive oil every day is a real benefit to your health. It's kind of replaces ibuprofen. It's good for your joints, it's good for your blood. There's a lot of benefits. If you're interested in things like that, then check out this video. But really, the olive oil health here is real, and the types of fats that they eat here, it's really good, and a big reason why people think that people in this region live a lot longer.
And not to mention all of the amazing herbs that you're able to find and make teas and tinctures with.
Little side note, Crete consumes more olive oil than anywhere else in the world.
And it's definitely apparent in the seasons that we're about to approach, when it seems like the entire island comes alive with all of the different things that they need to gather olives from their trees. It seems like all of the trucks are passing by with the ticklers, the nets, and then they're coming back out with boxes and bags full of olives. Then they're going to the mills, and then coming from the mills with their trucks full of olive oil.
Well, our adventures in learning about olive oil and exploring Greece have led us around this country so that we could capture episodes of Becoming Greek. One big reason we wanted to move to Greece was just to have access to travel places that we really wanted to explore.
Yeah, it's actually been a lot easier to travel around Greece while living in Greece. But not just traveling around Greece, but being able to access Europe at large. And I definitely understand more now how Europeans are able to go to so many different countries on vacations, because they are at easy access. They're not far away.
Yeah, basically you're able to go see different cultures just as easy as you would be able to go see a different state. And that's lended the ability to travel to places more affordably. And that's, we're able to go to Germany, Amsterdam, and Paris so far since we've been here. We definitely want to do more. We have a ton of places we'd love to go. We've kind of prioritized traveling around Greece because we love this country and finding out more about it, and also because of creating these short films in Becoming Greek.
Growing up in America, I Greek danced, and I learned the dances from so many different regions of Greece. Now I'm able to experience it in a much different way. I'm able to go to those regions and not just know the dances, but learn about the food, the people, and really what the lifestyle is of each of those regions. And I just am able to feel a much deeper connection to this beautiful country.
Yeah, and for me, I really enjoy telling the story. I felt like it wasn't really told. I feel like, you know, there's so many beautiful places and so much diversity in the people, the culture, the histories around Greece. Being able to focus on a passion project that I wanted to create is not something that I had time for in the States. I had ideas of doing that, but now that's where I'm putting a lot of my extra time and effort now, is into creating something because I want to share it with everybody, and not because a client has approached me saying, hey, do this. And I love working with my clients, but it is something different when it's yours. And so that's something that moving to Greece has given me.
Now, we won't lie, we've definitely had some struggles coming to Greece, and we'll do another video on that. But overall, everything has been worth it. The stresses that we have had, we're at least able to work on them with the beautiful sun, the sea, and the great food that we're able to experience.
And we don't really know what tomorrow holds. It's really great that we've been able to come here and do this and experience life in this way, because you only live once. YOLO.
Yeah. Actually, I really like what somebody in Greece told us, that you don't only live once, you live every single day. You die once. And so you might as well make your life full. And I like that.
I like that. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you like this video and you want to see more of these follow-up vlogs, please subscribe, hit the like button, and follow us as we journey around Greece.
Yeah, and we're hoping to share a lot more of these videos with you to give you more insight on what our experience is here in Greece, and let us know in the comments if there's anything that you would like to know from our point of view.